Comrades and friends, I bring you greetings from the platform of the greatest political organization in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Unity Labour Party, a political party which for the last 2 decades has been at the center of social and political life in this country. I am proud to be a member of this Labour family at such a critical time in our history. I am proud to be a member of this political party. This is a political party which built an impossible bridge across Marriaqua Dry River and transformed an entire community. This is the political party that built an impossible airport at Argyle and transformed an economy. This is the political party that launched into an education revolution here in this country. And this is the political party that has done so well with COVID-19. We didn't have a draconian shutdown. We didn't have curfew or state of emergency. And we have school. This is the political party I'm talking about. This is the political party I'm talking about. In our recent history, we have achieved many milestones and weathered many storms. I'm equally proud to say that the leadership of this party and government has helped us to navigate this new world order so well that we have moved from a sleepy backwater in 2001 to a country worthy of the attention of the entire world. And I'm speaking specifically about leadership of Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, and also about the fact that he was able to convince 185 countries to vote for us in a non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. So when I talk about a political party being the greatest organization in this country, I have justification. At home, our people have enjoyed a quality of life that surpasses any period in our history since conquest and settlement. If you don't believe that, just go back to what Gusta said just now about poverty and indigence, which we inherited and which we have reduced considerably. So much so that we got some debt relief as a result of it. So let me once again salute this government, this party, and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for taking on the challenges of development so well over the last 2 decades in the interest of all of our people. These days, there has been a lame and weak call for change by some people with very few ideas. They are otherwise known as opposition. Change to them, they say, and you will see. They can't tell you what they will see or what you will see because they themselves don't know. They don't have a clue as to what is happening. They get up and they talk, they open their mouths, whatever come out, they go with it. They're not serious people. They want Vincentians to just go and vote for them, abandoning the progress, abandoning the principles, abandoning the development goals that we have set for ourselves to go and buy a pig in a bag. It won't happen. Because Vincentians have seen the transformation of this society in every aspect of national life. We can't go backwards. Forward ever is our mantra. Vincentians today are a strong, proud, and confident people, due mainly to change in their circumstances because of the policies of this administration. So we in the ULP and Comrade Stagg just talk about revolution and change. We are the architects of change, the engineers of transformation. In short, we are the true revolutionaries in this Vincentian reality. We are the change makers. We are the change. So when they talk about change, they better talk about this. That's what they're talking about. We're talking about that kind of change. We embarked on this revolution in 2001, and we have maintained it by being prescriptive and keeping people at the center of everything that we do. That's the difference between us. Comrades, we inherited in 2001 a situation where monocrop culture was in tatters. We had to do something. And the leadership of this party decided one of the things that we were going to do was to change the structure of education system in this country. So we dubbed it the education revolution. And in every sector, we made changes. Early childhood, primary, secondary education, post-secondary education, tertiary education, in areas of nursing, teaching, adult and continuing education, technical, vocational and training. A veritable transformation that has been the wind beneath the wings of the aspiration of the majority of Vincentians, both young and not so young.
So when I see the education revolution, this is my government international.
May I remind you that before 2001, education was more a privilege than a right. Only 39% of all primary school children entered a secondary school. We keep saying this, and we will continue to say so. The people who presided over that should be ashamed of themselves. Some of them are coming back. Other people were left to fend for themselves. University was an alien language. Parents pulled strings to get their children into secondary schools. Most of them private and costly. The education revolution and universal secondary education changed that and is changing the society as a whole. That's the change we talk about. That's the change we want them to talk about. How people live and what they live for. Early childhood. Comrades, by 2009, there were massive advances in the early childhood education. 9 public early childhood centers were opened in the following areas. Before, we had some little preschools around the place. Remember that? The government had nothing to do with it. Then we had in Owia, Langley Park, Argyle, Marriaqua Government School, Canaan Government, Chumaka, Beckway Anglican, Fairhall Government, Edinburgh. This is all part of the revolution. That is how we revolutionize this thing. And recently, we had 2 opened, one at Greg's and one at South Rivers. And now, this year, we're going to open 3 more. Richland Park, Bible, Park Hill, and also Canary. That should say 4. Early childhood centers to catch children at an age when we could develop them. The best time in their lives for them to be taught. The government is taking a lead in this. That's revolutionary. That's what we're talking about. This will bring the total number of public early childhood centers to 15. Almost every child of preschool age is now enrolled at a private or government-operated facility. And what is more, we also give a subvention to each early childhood center once they meet the required standards. As a matter of fact, we also rebuilt the YWCA, which includes an early childhood center. And further, the preschools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the early childhood centers, those private ones, were given COVID support. We have made tremendous strides in our primary schools. In 2001, all schools were repaired at a cost of $5.5 million. A lot of money. We did it last year again. New primary schools were constructed at Sandy Bay, Fairhall, and Beckway. If you go to Beckway now, you see that beautiful structure down there. In Beckway, yes. There was a marked improvement in special education also. A quality new school for children with special needs was built at Georgetown, and the facilities at Kingston were enhanced. We increased the training for all levels of teachers. I'm dealing with primary schools. All levels of teachers. And most principals at the primary level are now university graduates. I said something that we said before, and which we have not said enough of. In 2001, there were only 4 graduate teachers at the primary school level. Now, we have close to 500. You talk about revolution. We talk about change. That's what we talk about.
The revolution in education shows you building a new foundation. So let me applaud the ULP.
Comrades and friends, the achievement of universal secondary education in September of 2005 came upon us. A lot of people were surprised. A lot of naysayers said we couldn't do it, but the Prime Minister had a vision. We have done it. But we had to accommodate this bold new move. New secondary schools were opened at Sandy Bay, Connery, West St. George, Richmond Hill, and Bookerment. New schools, that secondary schools now were built at Mackey's Hill, Edinburgh, Peter's Hope, Union Island, and Belair. Several other secondary schools were expanded, with some expansions include the provision of library facilities and science labs. Let me just call the names of the schools. Sandy Bay Secondary School. Ever had one before? No. George Stevens Secondary School. West St. George Secondary School. Bookerment Bay Secondary School. Thomas Saunders Secondary School. And here it is, Kanawan Secondary School. We did that in collaboration with the developers on that island. Creative thinking. And at Fair Hall, we have a primary school which has grades 7 to 9 that cater for children with special needs. That's revolutionary.
The revolution in education shows you building a new foundation. So let me applaud the ULP.
Modern secondary schools were constructed to house the students of the following schools. This is addition, Dr. J.P. Eustace Memorial Secondary, Intermediate High School, Central Leeward Secondary School at Peter's Hope, Union Island Secondary School. These were new schools. West St. George Secondary at Belair. And let me say something more. That we weren't just building schools. We were concerned about what happened in the schools. And if you look at the CSEC results, you will see what I'm talking about. Excellent results over the years, improving over the years. Comrades and friends, the education revolution is not just about the academic. Our flagship is TVET. We recognize that we have to develop market skills among young people to promote greater employment and productivity. The marketplace is calling for special skills that we can't meet at the moment. And we have known this for a while, and we have been doing a lot of work with respect to technical vocational education and training. We have 4 main technical centers: Barrowley, Camden Park, Kingstown, and Georgetown. And recently, we've done a lot of work to them. Dozens of persons have come through those doors. A lot of them are at work. Some of them are self-employed. And others even have employed other people. We are in the process of upgrading one at Pettibodell. Mr. Carlos James has been behind us for a while, saying hurry up with this one. And we are doing some work on that. And soon Pettibodell will have its own technical institute. Very soon, I've been told. This is in addition to the Division of Technical and Vocational Education and Training at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. And I might add here that come next year, well, come the next term, and there will be a next term. There will be a next term. The Marriaqua Technical Institute will be established in Mesopotamia. Also, our Sector Skills Development Agency is always running skills programs through the adult and continuing education, where scores of young people, marginalized persons, single mothers, etc., persons dropped out of school, etc., they are now into training. We started the ANU, which is funded by the CDB, and we have done plumbing, welding, electrical installation, front office operation, food preparation, food and beverage, etc. You know the whole package. And we have already trained 1,150 people in this. 1,150 young people have been trained. 300 of them have attained full Caribbean vocational qualifications. 300. Full qualification. Very portable. They could go to any country and work in the skills which they chose. Then we have the youth and adult training for employment, YATE. 370 already trained in levels 1 and 2. And then there's one funded by the British government called SKY, that's Skills for Youth Employment. We have already trained 300 people. So we're not just sitting back. We know what is coming, and we're preparing for it. We're training our young people for production, for life, and for living. Tertiary. Before 2001, access to tertiary education for Vincentians was minimal. This too was revolutionized. People grew up thinking that university education was for certain people, not everybody. You could have counted on one hand how many people we had at university at a particular campus. We have said, and the Prime Minister said this over and over again, that we should have one university graduate per household on average. By 2030, it will happen. We are working towards that goal right now. At the University of the West Indies campuses, Cayfield and St. Augustine, we are the second largest number. And at Mona, we come a close third for people who are at the campuses. In addition, we have students all around the world studying in a range of disciplines. As a matter of fact, this morning, 22 of them accepted their scholarships to go to Taiwan. Prime Minister was there. At the Open Campus in Kingstown, that's where we do work online, over 735 students are pursuing studies at one level or the other. 601 of them are doing graduate or undergraduate program. This is virtually an education country. Everybody is involved. And you telling me this is not a revolution? A silent revolution it is.
The education revolution is the opportunity.
Just like to say further that we have already approved 250 and counting tuition scholarships for 2020. In other ways, we have been supporting education. We've been putting our money where our mouth is. Over $100 million have been guaranteed by this government for economically disadvantaged loans since 2002. And that is in addition to the regular loans. The regular loans. And the PM did some maths this morning and said since 2001, we have spent over almost $3 billion with a B on education in this country. Our annual expenditure on education is $150 million.
15 years, 15.
We will continue to support education. We will continue to invest in education because the poor people of this country deserve no less. I am fond of saying that once upon a time, when you went to the doctor, you couldn't understand what he was saying. He couldn't understand you either. Nowadays, you go to the doctor, the person who is attending to you, you know him, mama, papa. You know where he come from, where he live, what school he went to. It's a revolution. Not just in medicine, in law, in other things. Of course, I will move on because I'm running against time. And let me talk briefly about my beloved constituency, a place called Marriaqua, in the bosom of this country, the heartbeat of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. More than anything else, the geography of Marriaqua defines us. Our topography, our terrain, our drainage system, our location, all contribute to the character of this constituency. It is also what makes us vulnerable. And we experience our fair share of landslides and flooding and threats from rivers, etc. There's always something to be done in that constituency. And since 2015, and even before that, I would say since 2001, something has always been done in Marriaqua. We've been doing so at a feverish pace. Some strangers were passing through Marriaqua some time ago, said they're campaigning. All of them were strangers. Every one of them were strangers. And they said nothing was done in Marriaqua for 22 years. And that was mounted by one of the main strangers. So they missed a lot. And let me just recap some of what they missed. I'll do so quickly. Belmont Ginger Village Road, restored. Greenhouse back at Montreal. Satellite warehouse in Mesopotamia. Zenga TV at River Defense and Collins Village. Red Dog Bridge and River Defense. Macmillan Road. All the Childhood Center at Richland Park, ongoing now. Gawley Hill Road, new. Cotton Ground Road, new. Carrier Village Road, going on now. Montreal Road, going on now. Levi Latham Health Complex. Lands for Evesham Park. That is being done now, immediately. Glenside Slope Stabilization. Every single village in Marriaqua has been touched by this government this 4.5 years. And strangers can't see them. I don't understand. The strangers can't see it. We have other things, you know. Richland Park Main Road, Dickey Main Road, Lacqua Village Road and Self-Help, etc., etc. A lot of things happening. And we will continue to do more work. We have an intervention in a particular village that we have to do. We have things that we have to do with respect to housing, things to do with respect to feeder roads, etc., which we will do. And I can't talk about everything tonight. There's so much to talk about. But let me just say, that I, since I've known myself, have been in the service of the people of this country, particularly in the service of the people of Marriaqua, and I will continue to be in their service. I will continue to be in their service, especially for the next 5 years. This government will continue to be in service to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the next 5 years and beyond that, because we have programs, policies, projects, we have leadership, we have a party, and we have candidates. Thank you very much, and good night, everybody.
Marriaqua want, the people want, push it to the base,
Fire, fire, fire here at this virtual meeting tonight. Yeah, man. Lifting St. Vincent and the Grenadines higher. Yes. Thank you, Comrade Jimmy.